really well next week.
Yeah, I think there's a few people just sort of having a little bit of a day off today.
Yeah, I was going on Twitter a little bit, searching too much stuff. And I'm like, this is all negative news. Not about
Yeah,
the crypto
yeah,
markets, but the war and stuff and everything that's happening with um, Iran and Israel. I'm like, this is that's a lot of it. I think it's affecting things. So
I
people
think
tend
so
to
too.
speculate. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a good day to kind of drink coffee and, like you say, wait for the dust to settle. I've got my coffee, so
Yeah.
I'm happy.
So yeah,
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Nadina. Yeah, I'm good. We got Blackberry guy. He was just DMing me. Hey there, BBG.
yeah. I see Scope in here. I see Papa Rio, RK. You got Blackberry. Yeah, let a few more folks get in. Feel free to share the room out to other guys. We posted it in our yep, we got it in our main chat too. So share the room out. Let the folks know we're in here. We're gonna start probably in like a few minutes.
Yep.
Get the space rolling.
Cool. How you doing, Nadina?
Doing all right. Yeah, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking when the market is kind of a little bit
Yeah.
nervous. But it'll be okay eventually. It's just sometimes, yeah, a little bit of negativity, very emotional in crypto.
Part of the roller coaster. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Usually it's from like, as you call them, like normal friends that get involved because they said, oh, we got in and now things are turning in the direction. I'm like, I said DCA.
That's
I
it.
said DCA.
We need to write a song about that.
Oh God, it should be one. I swear.
Yeah. I say, hey, DCA.
DCA. I had a friend ask me what does it mean. I'm like, dollar cost average. I'm like, how much would I put in? I'm like, that's a question you should know. I mean, it's just Jesus. I'm like, if you only got like $1,000, maybe don't put in $500 at a time. Do like 1,000, do like 100 or 50, and it's. I don't know. I talked to some people actually about getting involved, especially with Earn, and
Yeah.
we have that option with like
Yeah.
all these cheap chains. I mean, you literally could just buy $1 worth
Yeah.
on BNB and spend a couple pennies in transaction fees every few days, and you can't say you didn't DCA. You know, I mean, and like, yeah, it's silly because I think people are trying to time the markets, and I think this dip in the market is showing people that things don't just go straight up, and there are retracements, and people got to be careful about how much they invest, and that's only something they personally know, so they can take advantage of these dips that happen. And actually, I was going to mention a little PSA. I mean, I don't know 100% if it's true, but I've been hearing that someone in our community recently got wallet drained, like an hour ago, and that
Oh.
was like one of the recent sales that happened on the chart. So be careful about links that you click on. Be careful about TGs that aren't official. Be careful about being on X and someone send you a link, because from what I'm hearing, they either sent their tokens or clicked on a link and they lost all their earn off their wallet. So that's unfortunate. But you have to be
Yeah, there
cautious.
was a group floating around with like a migration link, like where you can click on. So yeah, I reported it. Probably other folks did too. But yeah, I've seen that with other projects too. You have to be very careful because they usually look at it. You have about the same number of members, the exact same name, and there's only one letter in the username that's different. Or yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to be
Absolutely.
careful, and it's very frustrating because like when you don't go into the group itself, if you wanna, like, sometimes it doesn't really show you, you don't, it just shows you the name and the logo, that's it. so you could click on it and it can be any group. Yeah, it can be. You have to be careful with that stuff.
I mean, it's actually bullish, sadly, but it is, because it means that the more you get recognized, the more you're going to see
Yeah.
people trying to do this stuff with your community. So just got to be careful. I mean, I'm
Mm.
seeing a lot of people copying our accounts and acting like they're admins, or creating fake groups, or there's going to be fake X accounts. I even get some AI stuff happening, people trying to like mimic our voice and making videos and stuff. But yeah, just be careful. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've heard people doing that with other projects, like using AI to like make people say things they really didn't say. But yeah, be careful. And like, I will never ask you guys to send me money ever, or for your private key. And I don't think any admin will ever do that too, or moderating the chat. And there is not going to be any migration happening with Earn. It's a immutable contract, liquidity is locked. It's clean and simple. So be careful about those pop-up TGs. And make sure you check the handle. If someone is reaching out to you, even if it's not me, if something seems a little bit off, take a step back, drink your cup of coffee, come back later and say, maybe this isn't the right person that I was actually talking to. Yeah, but just got to slow it down.
Yeah, slow it down. That's that's good advice, actually, especially on days like today. It's like you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, just got to slow it down, because people are crafty, very, very crafty people. So yeah, we got some more folks in here. Hope everyone's doing well. If you guys want to go and get started in a minute, did you want to lead off, Nadina? We did one or two. This is our third one, right? Yeah, our third one we've done so far.
Yeah, welcome everybody to our Earn Community Spotlight. I kind of liked doing these because I love to get to know people in our community. We have some amazing people that do a lot of very creative things, and I think they deserve to have a little bit of a spotlight so they can talk about what they're building, what they're up to, and we can get to know them a little bit better. So today we have our guest Layla, and I'm very excited about this because Layla and I have been working together on some cool stuff for her project, and I'm sure she's going to talk about that in a little bit, what that's all about. But yeah, maybe even though probably most people here might know you, like maybe you want to introduce yourself, like what your background is, as much as you're comfortable to share. Yeah, where you're from, what your background is, and so on.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, well, I first of all, I want to say thank you for creating this space. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, the Earn community is very unique, and I felt very drawn to that. And I guess a bit about my background. Yeah, I guess I was introduced to some forms of crypto probably 3.5 years ago. And but in my personal experience and my personal life, I mean, I'm obviously Australian by my accent. I live on the east coast of Australia. I was basically I've been a professional musician for 20 years of my life. Yeah, and I guess part of the vision I guess I had with OX52 was to kind of tie in together a lot of those interests. So music ended up getting involved in my crypto journey probably around, it wasn't even really that long ago, probably only 8 or 9 months ago. Yeah, and so I was basically, I have a lot of experience as a, live professional singer, whether that was kind of like solo, playing piano. I used to play in a lot of 5-star hotels and tour a lot around different countries, working in that environment. professionally, and it was a really great way to travel and you know, and sing. And I've met a lot of fantastic people around the planet doing that, and cruise ships and things like that. Involved in lots of different shows, a lot of
That's
live
so cool.
stuff.
That's so cool because so I played the drums for
Ah,
quite a little bit when I was high school age, and I was kind of thinking about what I want to do, you know, professionally, and I was considering music career at some point. And I always thought, oh, it would be so cool to just like play like, you know, background music on a cruise ship.
oh, that's
It's so cool
hilarious.
that you're mentioning that.
That's
That is
funny.
so funny.
It is. It really is, actually. And, you know, percussion ended up becoming a big part of, you know, what I did. I mean, I play cajon and like lots of different percussion instruments, and sing it, you know, and singing like was something I was doing at the same time. So I was doing multi-instrumentalist sort of stuff, you know, but piano and vocal was, you know, that was kind of a really great bread and butter gig for me, you know, because, you know, you can actually live in those 5-star hotels and, you know, get paid in US dollars, and, you know, and basically live there for 3 months, see the country in the daytime, and then perform and sing at nighttime. So that was a really great way to kind of, you know, I guess I've never lived in the system much, you know. I was always kind of always lived outside of the system, because I went to a high school where, you know, I did a lot of accelerated music. You know, I never really planned to get a normal job. Music was always going to be my thing. So yeah, so I went to a school that was really focused on music and performance and that kind of thing. And the funny thing is I learned a lot of the skills that I'm using now about rewriting songs. You know, and I was kind of doing that back when I was 15 and 16 in high school, learning how to reproduce in a recording studio, you know, using my you know, multi-instrumental kind of capabilities to kind of, you know, learn how to produce and engineer and run the studio. And, you know, as technology's improved, I mean, those studios have just got better and better and more scaled down. And, you know, but I was learning on 8-tracks and stuff like that. And I was doing all that stuff for fun. And then I eventually started getting paid to do it, you know. So I ended up going into session singing for advertising, jingles and things like that. And I was doing a lot of that sort of stuff for non-crypto projects. You know, and yeah, so you know, as a little bit of fun one day, you know, I actually wrote a song for Elephant Money. Like instead of Simply the Best, I wrote it as Birth is the Best, and it kind of caught fire. And then you know, the response was more. So I think I probably nearly wrote about an album's worth of stuff for that. Yeah, but I mean, eventually I was sort of, I guess I was talking to Bailey, actually, and he kind of put it to me about, you know, uh, crypto and NFTs and music and all that sort of stuff. So that was then how it all kind of come together, I guess, in the right place at the right time with the opportunity with Earn. So yeah.
No, that's very cool. So you actually got as into, was that your entry into crypto when you wrote those
No,
songs for Elephant Money?
yeah, actually, I got involved with it. It was like through a friend of mine who was, you know, uh, involved in some basically just like some ROI dApps at the time, you know,
Yeah.
and yeah, and it was like very commission based, and I mean, she was just, you know, she was getting commissioned to basically introduce people to these, you
Yeah.
know, ROI dApp schemes. And I mean, obviously, you know, you live and you learn. You can't, it was an interesting experience, like, you know, learning the reality of those, you know, schemes, I guess you'd say, and getting rugged a couple of times, and like, you know, and then kind of like doing more of a deep dive into going, okay, well, there's obviously a lot more to this than just these ROA DAP stuff, you know, and that was about 3.5 years ago. And then through that, you know, I guess you leapfrog from one project to another, and you learn, and you meet other people, and they introduce you to other things. And I was involved with you know, Elephant basically came along for me just as I was about to kind of throw the towel in. And I thought, you know, that anyway, and then it you know, from there, I guess I met some incredible community members who expanded my horizons a lot. And and then through that, you know, like once again you get introduced to other things. And and then Stinger introduced me to Earn, which I'll be forever grateful for, you know, because he was launching 159. And then through there, I started to find out about the Earn token. I was like, oh, hello, you know. And I loved the design of the ecosystem from, you know, from the mother token Earn standpoint. That's what really grabbed my attention. And so I guess, you know, that was where, you know, because I watched an AMA with Mikey, and then when he was kind of explaining about the structure of it, the Earn, you know, token and deflationary and reflections, I'm like, yep. How do I get involved in this? So yeah.
No, very cool. Very cool. So you actually got more like as an investor, not like that you were looking to monetize your music through NFTs, for example. It was more like an investment step for you.
Well, I was
to
kind
get
of
into crypto.
Yeah, well, I hadn't even really considered bringing music into crypto. I mean, I was just an investor for a long time, I guess, before that ever came on my radar. I mean, I was just, you know, writing for, you know, for communities, basically, rather than actually doing it in like an NFT kind of idea.
Because I find, so my first career was actually an audio engineer. And
wow, we've got a lot in common, Medina.
Yeah. So actually what you said about like, you know, technology gets better and better, like basically audio engineers almost become and it's getting better and better and better. On the recording side of things, obviously live music is different. But so from coming from them there, like I always loved the NFT technology because I'm seeing like how music has become so digital, and I do believe that that NFTs really solve a problem of certifying a original, which you can't do anymore, right? Just it's photography is mainly digital, except some people that still use cameras. But yeah, back then you always had like the original piece. And I find it always funny that people are like, well, but you can't have just copies of it. Well, also a painting, lots of people have a print at home, not the original, but the original is so much more worth than the print. You can buy a poster for $15, but then you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for the original piece, and it's not the paint on the canvas that's so expensive. Or that it's extremely old. There are very contemporary artists that do do pieces, and they're very expensive. But it's because you have the original piece of work. And in a world that becomes so digital, I think I find the NFT idea so interesting. And I think it will take time for people to learn the technology and artists really understanding what it solves and so on, and good like user experience as well. But I do think, yeah, it's the future of these kind of digital art in general, whether it's music, it's video, or it's just art as an image. I think that will be how we will like find out like who is the true owner of that original piece, which I think very cool, and especially with the royalties that can go back to the artists. I think that's also very different from how things are managed these days, right? I mean, you know that probably way better than I do, in terms of like producers and those companies. Yeah.
But it brings a lot of the financial aspect back to the artist, you know, and and it gives back a digital signature, a digital printed signature to like you say, to the original. And I didn't really, I mean, and there might be people that don't understand that too, that listening, that you can just use, you know, NFT technology can be used for digital printed artists and things like that to give a signature to an original piece of art. It doesn't even have to do with crypto necessarily, you know. So, you know, it's really cool because you're bringing the artist space. So it's kind of a fusion of three spaces. And in OX52, I kind of went, well, you know what, we can bring digital money, digital currency, digital art, and ownership and creativity all into the one space. And really the Earn ecosystem with the Flameling tokens has given me a vehicle to kind of, you know, bring that to life in a way, you know, and you know, because you've given us the scope to, you know, be creative in that way and create something new that's not really existed before in some ways, you know. So it's kind of cool because, I mean, you know, I liked the idea of music being involved with you know, tokenomics and stuff. But this is something where I was able to bring, you know, like a whole concept to life in a way, you know, like, so, you know, and it was just an absolute fluke that I ended up getting OX52, you know, because, it was kind of auspicious in a way because, you know, when I originally came up with the deck of cards idea, I didn't actually, it didn't actually occur to me that there's 52 cards in a deck. Believe it or not, I just kind of had this intuitive thought. I'm like, somehow I want to kind of weave this deck of cards theme in with the queens. And then my friend says, you're a freaking genius. You know, there's 52 cards in a deck. I've gone, oh, yeah. I didn't actually. I'm like, oh, my God, that is really cool. You know, 52 NFTs. Each one could have, you know, a piece of digital art representing the queen of each suit, you know. So we got like spades and hearts and diamonds and clubs, you know, and the kind of, you know, utility and function. And yeah, you know, so that was kind of how I kind of stumbled across the idea, and it all fell together like that. Yeah. So,
no, that's awesome. Do you want to talk a little bit more about, so as you mentioned, the NFT collection has 52 pieces, and do you want to a little bit talk about like how the individual NFTs are different from each other? You already mentioned before suits, obviously, and then what you want to share for what you have planned for it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And I mean, of course, I have you to thank, Nadina, for pulling the lovely artwork together. Geez, you know, like it's received a lot of comments, I must say, you know. And when I had the idea for the digital art, you know, for each suit, you know, yeah, you just completely knocked that out of the park. So thank you for that. Yeah, so
that was fun.
yeah, so so the idea was 52 NFTs. There's 52 cards, so basically there'll be there's the 2 of hearts, 3 of hearts, 4 of hearts, all the way up to the full deck of 13 NFTs in each suit. And they're all kind of like visual representations of the Queen. The Queen being having her own song. So only the queens, Queen of Hearts, Clubs, Diamonds, and Spades, they're the only ones that have their own unique song that I've written for those NFTs. But all of the visual art is a reflection of her in each suit, basically. So there's 4 different styles of music, which was kind of cool because I got to actually, draw on. Over the years, I've done many, many different styles of music. So I was able to kind of give, each queen a different style of music. That was my, and then we kind of have a visual image of her that reflects that style of music. So the queens have the instruments in the visual, whereas the other NFTs in the matching suit don't have the instrument, only the queens do. So I guess when it came to the actual ecosystem of OX52, I wanted to kind of give some bolstering. I didn't want it to kind of be. I wanted there to be some kind of treasury aspect to it, to kind of give the token some floor, and basically the idea behind the minting of the NFTs was to be able to draw some monetary value in, and then build a treasury. With OX52 token, capturing OX52 token in a holding wallet or a treasury wallet, that's basically from the sales of the NFTs. And I guess the other plan for some of the money that was raised from the NFTs was to also, upgrade the decks for OX52. So, that's more like up to date and looking a lot better and a lot healthier, legit. And, but then building that treasury up so I can basically capture as much of the value as I can. At least I'm hoping, I would like to try and catch like maybe half the supply in the holding, wallet, So, but there is, but as far as the actual NFTs go, so coming back to that, the treasury, if the treasury is like holding OX52, of course it's going to be earning airdrops, So the idea then is to use those airdrops that are captured by the treasury to be distributed to every month. Probably I'm working on around about 1/3 of the airdrops will be distributed between the Queen NFTs holders. So that there's only going to be 4 of them. So a third of the airdrops for the month will be automatically distributed to the Queens, and then a third will be used in buybacks. So I would like to continue to add to that OX52 reserve in the treasury, and continue to basically buy back more of that capture. And then the last part of the earn airdrops, I would like to. So this is a little bit of a gamify function for anybody who holds an NFT. They would then, if we've got the 4 queens, they were automatically getting their airdrops for the month. So in each suit, then we have still got 12 other holders of the NFTs. So we would have team diamonds, team clubs, team spades, and you get the idea, team hearts. So there'd be 4 teams with 12 holders in each of those. So of those 12 members, there would be a lottery every month. And so there would be a winner between those 12 holders in each suit, as to who then gets a portion of the rest of the earn airdrops out of the treasury for the month. So that would be a monthly thing, probably at the end of every month, is what I'd like to see.
Awesome. And
Yeah,
then you
so
rotate the suits, right? So 1 month you did the hearts, and 1 month you did the clubs, and
well,
um,
if I think
yeah.
everyone had to kind of wait like 4 months before their suit came around again, they'd be a bit bored. So I think I might do every suit for every month. And
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
this is all based on the value of earn as well too.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
as the
and
value of
activity on your token, how much the drops are going to accumulate. You have to gauge that a
yeah.
little bit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
if you're thinking you've got, like 400 million earn sitting there accumulating airdrops, I mean, and the price of earn starts to skyrocket, like we start getting to $1 value, in like in the future, it's going to be, those
Mm-hmm.
airdrops are going to be very, very valuable. So
Right.
buying an NFT at the value that it is, I mean, could potentially get you a ticket in a very valuable, system that
Mm-hmm.
will be
Absolutely.
that will be ongoing because those airdrops won't stop, So yeah, and there will be a little bit of a twist on the treasury as well, but I'm not going to just say that one just yet until I'm ready to build the
Yeah.
treasury. I
Yeah.
can't give that bit away just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
So,
that's
so
awesome.
w- once the sales of the treasury once the sales of the NFTs come through, and then I start building the treasury, then I'll drop the
Mm-hmm.
twist on that one, as to what else will be involved with that, and yeah. So I guess that's kind of in a nutshell the vision that I've got, and I would
No,
like to
definitely.
at some point, like because I mean, because then I've got like 4 teams in the community. I mean, we can have a lot of fun with that. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, we can kind of have some, like buy, um, within the NFT holders, we can have like some, buy competitions, with each team.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah.
there's lots of fun, different things we can do with that format. So I'm kind of excited about having that as part of it as well, and somebody actually did mention about, putting it into the OX52 community about like doing a poll for different songs that they would like to see
Mm-hmm.
me putting in a request for, like if I was
Yeah.
to do like a wild NFT, like
Mm-hmm.
something like that, like a one-off, that
Yeah.
the community can kind of vote on what I record next, and we can mint some randoms or something like that, which could raise more
No, that's
money
perfect.
for the treasury, and we can do stuff with it, So, yeah, for like
Yeah,
advertising or, yeah.
you can do a lot of game stuff. You can do trivia or like other things with the teams. Like yeah, 13 is a good number. It's like not a outrageous large number that would be hard to manage. It's like quite a reasonable number, especially because probably not always everybody will participate. But then you have a good number, like a good size of a group that can compete. That's a really good idea, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Mm-hmm.
so, so also, I'll just say too with, the NFT idea, because I mean, it did come up in the OX52 chat about, how we were gonna, go about minting, what chain, and we had talked about different things. But yeah, Nadina, if you wanted to kind of maybe even just explain a little bit about what we've been talking about with that, yeah, with the
Yeah.
minting
So.
side, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what? So BNB is really good because it has quite active community members. We've seen that in all the other Flameling tokens. It has been working pretty well. But the downside on BNB is that NFTs are just not as well supported as on other chains. And
Yeah.
the reason is probably just because of the Binance disaster, that lots of marketplaces just delisted it. It's also the chain itself is a little bit funky with NFTs sometimes. So I'm not sure why that is, but maybe they're just also not like I don't know how the chain is maintained. I don't think it's that decentralized, so it's a lot coming from Binance itself, I assume. So I'm not sure how committed they are to develop the chain, and they have like kind of rebranded it a few months ago as well. So, but anyways, like the NFTs, it's unfortunate. OpenSea doesn't support it. Rarible does not support it anymore. Or has it never done it? I don't even know. Maybe, Michael, you know more about that. But so we've
No,
struggled.
they haven't supported it yet. They did just add support for base recently, but yeah, I think it is a lot due to the regulation enforcement that's been happening. But I think after that passes, I can see a lot of bullish sentiment for BNB. But yeah, right now it is a little bit of a turbulent time for platforms to add that additional support for it. But the token itself and the chain is beautiful. It's just like the NFT part to it's a little bit like, oh, come on, who's not making a marketplace? Come on, let's do this, people.
Right.
Yeah.
OpenSea is just state of the art in terms of like visibility for NFTs. You just have most people go there and browse through new collections and stuff. So not being able, I mean, obviously your collection is like either way, like they're not supporting it, but you can view it on OpenSea, but you can't trade it. So that's the downside. So you have to come up with like other ways of trading it. And I haven't found a good marketplace that is really well functional for BNB NFTs. There are some like plug and play types of marketplaces, but they're also not like, it's just not the same user experience. So we have been talking back and forth a lot because how we want to do it, because we want to have obviously the 0x52 community members being able using their tokens. We wanted to make it as easy as possible to use the BNB for the treasury and so on. But we also want to give the NFT collection as much exposure as possible. So some other chains that are fairly popular recently is, for example, Base Chain, and that's also supported now on Rarible and OpenSea. And so there is new technology now with Chainlink, which is always, I'm a huge fan of Chainlink. They've been like developing amazing infrastructure for allowing cross-chain, multi-chain applications. And there is a fairly new way. So they recently released that CCIP protocol. You might have heard of it. So that even allows banks, for example, the SWIFT system that banks use, they can connect to blockchains. But what it also allows is that you can send messages between chains, which is very different from like just needing a bridge to then very cumbersome, usually a lot of time. You have to wait until your tokens arrive and you're never sure if they're actually going to end up on the other side. So they have this really cool protocol now where you can create cross-chain NFTs, which would mean, so I'm looking into this now. I'm not promising anything, but I really hope I can do this, because that would be the best of both worlds, because then people could actually mint the NFT with their tokens and BNB on the BNB side, but they would then, the NFT would essentially appear on the base chain in their same wallet. And that would be amazing. So because then you don't have to worry about any like swapping or bridging or anything with your treasury wallet. People can use their 0x52 tokens to mint, and then they would just have to basically switch the chain and they'll see their NFT in their wallet on base chain. It would be automatically in OpenSea, being tradable, so they could list their NFTs for sale if they would like to. Yeah. I'm looking into this. It shouldn't be too difficult. But it's a fairly new protocol, so I can't promise anything, but I really hope that we can do it, because it also is a new thing that we can try out, and there are lots of opportunities that come once we figure it out. Like, there's a lot you can do when you know how to use and create these contracts that can be cross-chain, because the NFT collection could be on many more chains if you wanted them to be. So for future things that people might plan, or will be planning with Earn as well. So yeah, that's how we're thinking about it. If somehow that doesn't materialize in the way we want it to, they will just be on BNB, and we'll find ways to put these NFTs on a marketplace. I think 0x177, he is, for the Flame Stars, are using NF Trade. You can trade the NFTs on BNB. It's just, yeah, I think that they actually make it look nice. You need quite a high volume for trades. So on OpenSea, it's very simple. If you're owner of the collection, you can, have a background banner, and you can put in all the information with website and everything. You can do that on your own, and you don't have to pay anything for that. On NF Trade, which looks like the best marketplace that I've found for BNB, besides the fact that, yeah, I think then you need like 5 ETH, or like $5,000 volume for your NFT collection, which can be difficult, especially with a smaller collection. It's a little bit difficult to achieve, and they've never got, actually, I think I've applied for on there for another collection and never heard back. So the support is very well, but they're tradable, I believe. I think they are tradable on there. It's just not the same experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what we've been talking about, and and even if like you say, Nadina, if if it ends up being the minting on BNB, they're still going to have the same value within the 52 ecosystem anyway. So it just would, but there'd be a couple of added benefits to it being out, on a multi-chain. But we'll watch this space on that one. Yeah, and we'll see how we go with that. But but the NFTs are almost ready to go. As far as the artwork and the music goes, we're just kind of looking at that side of things now. So so people know where we're at with it, and so that's cool. And the holding wallet, I've set that up, and So, but I think I've explained in a nutshell anyway the vision that I have for the token itself, and how the NFTs will kind of fit into that. And so I'm pretty excited about it, really. I'm pretty happy with how the music's kind of come together, and and I mean,
I think it's a great collection. I think it's a very unique, great collection. I think it's very cool. It's only 52, it's kind of I kind of like that is a little bit different from all the, you had like times that you always had this NFT collection of 10,000 of it, and it's just like, usually also to create those, it's just the art is not that cool, because you have to make it layered, and so you're very limited in how you're designing these characters. And I don't dislike the Bored Apes, but also I don't consider them as really good art either. I do find them funny to some degree. I do not like the Mutant Apes. I find them terrible. I will never buy one. But so I really,
and I wanted to keep the concept of the, and because I called them the Flameling Queens, because I wanted the flame concept to be kind of still tied into Earn. you know, like so that it's the concept of earn with the flame and the flamelings is still tied to. So, I mean, you know, the theme of the music for each of the Flameling queens is around fire and flamens and, you know, so yeah, you know, I wanted to kind of, you know, like tie it all together like that. And, yeah, and, you know,
Yeah, and I
yeah,
love how you basically also bring a little bit of femininity into this largely very masculine space, you know.
yeah.
It's seen so much like other stuff. I mean, lots of things are sort of gender neutral, I would say,
Yeah,
because it's
yeah, but
just
I like the fact
silly.
that
But
you've
yeah,
helped me with the art as well too. So, you know, a female dev and, you know, muso and yeah, art and yeah, I think it's kind of unique in that way, and yeah, we should be proud of that. Yeah, cool.
yeah. No, I'm looking forward to the launch of it, and we hope we don't have to that will like work out with base. But if not, that's not
Yep.
the end of the world.
No,
But the
no
goal
pressure,
is
Nadina.
to
No pressure.
yeah the goal
No
the goal
pressure.
is to
It's
get
like
it out.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it'll be
Yeah.
great. Either way, it'll be fine, you know. So, yeah, you're amazing no matter what. So it's all good, you know.
Thank you. Cool. Do you have anything you? Yeah.
Yeah, I do think volume is a little bit better in regards to just NFTs on base chain. So figuring out a way to implement that as an option is preferably ideal, either through bridging or utilizing Chainlink as an option for the NFTs to be there. I mean, because that gives you that exposure on OpenSea and also the exposure on Rarible. These are the top platforms that are out there right now. And I've been hearing rumors that Magic Eden is going to also enable support at some point for base chain. So that's all
I have not
really bullish for
figured
the
out how to. I have not figured out how to use that marketplace.
Magic Eden.
How do you get how you get a collection on there? But I also haven't spent.
I think it automatically pulls it from the other marketplaces that are out there, from my understanding. But I mean, that's what it's doing right now.
Tradable automatically?
They're automatically, because if you have them listed on a different marketplace, I'm like right now, you can go to Rarible and you can purchase an NFT that's listed on OpenSea. It just routes through it automatically. It's like Rarible is like an aggregator for NFTs and vice versa with OpenSea.
Yeah.
If you list an NFT on Rarible, then you can use OpenSea to purchase it directly from OpenSea. And you have to go to Rarible and vice versa. Same thing with Magic Eden. So with them potentially adding additional base support, I'm feeling pretty bullish on the chain. I mean, I'm looking forward to us launching some additional Flamelings on base in the near future to get some more activity over there, which would be super cool. We haven't yet announced when the next one's going to be yet, but that'll be in the near future. We did recently just add chain integration support for AVAX, so we're building a lot of that out. But yeah, I mean, this is really cool, you know, in regards to like the NFTs getting on different chains. OpenSea has a decent amount of volume for Avalanche, and there's a good exposure there for
and
folks that are
Polygon
looking to.
too. But yeah, it would be ideal for it would be ideal to be on a chain that Earn is already on, because then well, it doesn't really matter because the wallet is the same, so you can do your airdrops of Earn still on BNB. You don't have to worry about where the NFTs are really sitting at. Doesn't really matter. Yeah.
And like you say, I mean, if we can kind of, yeah, sorry, Michael, you go.
Yeah, so I was gonna say one thing is nice in regards to if like this idea, if you went the route of bridging the tokens over to base, for example, so say this is hypothetical, if the tokens for 52 were bridged over the base chain, right? Then what you can do is so now you can mint the NFTs utilizing 52 on base. And if there are additional tokens over there, you can also create liquidity pools with earn on base too, utilizing 52 and earn, because now they're on the same chain. So
Yeah.
there's
in hindsight,
options
that probably would have been ideal to launch, like in hindsight, I suppose it would have been, ideal to have launched 52 on base, knowing that, I guess, with the NFTs and, like, just so that people listening, we did have that conversation, but because the liquidity is kind of locked for probably another 6 weeks or so, over on the BNB side, that's the only reason that we kind of haven't maybe shifted it for this purpose, So, because, I mean, it would be nice for people to be able to mint in the OX52 token, So, but for the moment, I guess, because liquidity is on the BNB side, that's sort of where we're sitting right now. So this could be a kind of like an intermediary time frame thing rather than kind of then waiting to mint the NFTs and migrating the whole token over, which could take another month and a half, So before that's unlocked, So so we'll see how we go with the cross chain.
Yeah,
Sweet.
it's an interesting thing to look into for sure.
So but if anyone else has got anything they want to ask, then I can go ahead.
Yeah, and otherwise, we might close out.
We can wrap it up.
An hour. We are happy to have you anytime again if you have like updates for 0x52. Maybe we'll can figure out another time. Friday 10 p.m. is rough.
I think so. I mean, like we said, we were going to try a different time slot, to see what suits. But
exactly.
We can do another time slot. I mean, I would have been happy to wake up at 5 a.m. No issues,
Okay.
We can do that.
It's crazy. The time shift between US and Australia is crazy. It's just like so different. Yeah.
And I always miss all the spaces, because it's like I'm in the land of Z's and everybody's having a chat, and it's like I always see the links come up. Like, damn, I'm almost like 2 a.m. for me. Oh, good. Well, thank you for having me anyway. And it's been, and I'll be able to. I know there was like quite a few, people from the European side of the community, like with 52, that were like, "Damn, that's like 5 a.m. for me." And I'm like, "Oh well, you can listen to the recording; it'll be around."
You're
so
right. Exactly. Maybe we can accommodate those next time when we
sure.
have a chat.
All good then. But thanks again, and
thank you so much.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah,
all right, then you guys have a good evening. What's left of it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. You have a good rest of your day.
Take care.
All righty, guys. We'll catch you again soon. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.